The Muddy River project is the largest civil works project undertaken by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers New England District in the city of Boston. Many feel it's also the Army Corps of Engineers' most important project to have ever taken place within the city of Boston. The Muddy River is located central to the Emerald Necklace in the Fenway area of Boston. Within that geographic footprint, there are 12 schools and colleges. There's 6 hospitals and research institutions. It's a densely populated, heavily traveled area that, by the way, is also home to Fenway Park.
The Muddy River project is a flood mitigation project.
There was a series of 3 events that caused more than $70 million in damage. It also prohibited vehicle and pedestrian access and shut down the MBTA.
The Muddy River project, it's fixing this problem of choking down this historic river. We had to figure out a way to dewater the project area in order to complete the work.
And what we did was we installed 2 cofferdams. We put a cofferdam at our most southeasterly limit of work, and we put a second cofferdam upstream at roughly, let's say, the midpoint of the job. We were able to put the 2 cofferdams in. We created, so to speak, a bathtub. Then we went in and drained the bathtub, and we were able to reconstruct the river in the dry, which was ideal.
There's hundreds of existing trees that were called to remain on site, so installing a cofferdam system down the center of the river just wasn't feasible. That's one of the reasons we gravitated for the downstream half of the project to doing a bypass pump system.
We had an electric pump that was the primary. It was on a variable frequency drive. So the means and methods, it was almost like 2 different projects, how you had to attack it.
In addition to increasing the capacity of the Muddy River, there's traffic realignment components and significant utilities that had to be relocated in support of this project.
These are large trunk utilities that feed this area, namely Fenway Park and the hospital. So we needed to construct a culvert right through these. The traffic improvements have been a phenomenal aspect of this job. And when I have an abutter tell me that sirens are down in that area, and sirens are pretty much the 90% of the noise pollution in that area, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel that you're making a better city.
Most of our work has multiple stakeholders, but this project is unique because not only is the client consist of multiple stakeholders at the federal, state, and local level, but there's hospitals and universities and schools that are impacted, but there's also community-based organizations that are really passionate about restoring and maintaining the Emerald Necklace.
A good portion of it is right in the middle of a pseudo-rotary. There's no space, and because it's a daylighting project, we're constantly taking away from our laydown areas. So our project site was actually shrinking daily.
There is just tremendous amount of pedestrian and traffic volumes that need to be managed through this area. It's critical to get in and out of there and minimize the disturbance to the public.
That meant working Saturdays, that meant working 10-hour days. There was a real effort in order to get the job done.
So we move the traffic around, we complete the work, then we move the traffic back onto the completed work.
Safety is a core value here at Charter.
Our safety culture is continuous. We wake up the minute we get on the site, we live that culture.
Typically on our projects, when we think of safety, we're thinking about protection of the workforce within the constraints of a project footprint. Here on this project, we also had to really consider the pedestrians ranging from visitors to Fenway Park to students, folks going to work in the Longwood Medical area, as well as a heavily traveled roadway system. Before Olmsted was a landscape architect, he really was an environmentalist, and he was able to blend these 2 facets together in a manner that had never been done before, to restore the Muddy River 120 years later so that it reflects his originally intended design is a source of tremendous personal satisfaction.
I started off at Charter as a co-op 5 years ago, and one of the first tasks that I was given was to go to the Boston Public Library and research this upcoming project that turned out to be the Muddy River project.
To have an opportunity to run such a milestone project and to complete it in the manner we're going to, it really feels good.
Charter being awarded the Muddy River contract really represented the transition from our formative years as an emerging contractor to one gaining visibility for our ability to undertake multi-scope work with multiple stakeholders in challenging environments.